Hey guys, which part of a lightsaber is the coldest? The Kyber crystal.
We've had worse.
We've had worse, and we've also had a huge amount of snow in my part of the UK this week, so it feels like that joke is appropriate because it has been for extremely cold. Hello, explorers, and welcome to the only international Star Wars podcast covering almost half of the world, but only 0.5% of the galaxy. I'm Charlie, and as always, thank you for joining us for the second show of 2026, wherever you are in the Star Wars universe.
Yes, welcome to Explore the Force, where we cover all things Star Wars. I'm Jimmy the Jedi, and as always, welcome back or welcome along if you are new.
And last but no means least, I'm Jack. And if you're joining us today for episode 139 and you get a chance, don't forget to give us a cheeky rating and like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Jimmy, how you been this week?
I'm old, folks. I'm old this week. I want to give a shout out to the mailman who turned 50 years old on Monday. And if you guys are listening to this on Tuesday, I have now turned 50 years old.
Yay!
So if I seem grumpier, I've earned it. What about you, Charlie? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Super quickly. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jimmy and Mike. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Just wanted to get that out of the way. I'm doing good. I've spent my day at a kid's birthday party. So if I'm a little bit tired or a little bit less chatty this evening, that's why. But no, other than that, I've been doing good. I've been really enjoying the snow. We've had loads more than we were anticipating. Built a snowman, had snowball fights, generally enjoyed the house in the cozy of winter. So it's been super fun. But I've missed you guys. Jack, how are you doing? How's the snow in Canada?
Yeah, but it's still like minus 20 odd. I'm happy to see England suffering in the snow, to be honest. It's been funny watching people like Snowden, etc. It's always a good laugh. But yeah, no, all good. Obviously, happy birthday to Jimmy Tuesday, and happy birthday to Mike for Monday. Many happy returns. No prizes for guessing how young they are. But yeah, nice busy week. Getting ready to go back to work. Charlie, what have you got for us this week? Anything new?
Oh, I actually have. So one of my Christmas presents that I didn't end up speaking about was a selection of the absolutely beautiful Star Wars tarot cards by the artist Roy Hutchison Stewart. They are absolutely beautiful, and I thought since I've got so many to get through, each week for a couple of weeks, I'm going to do a little tarot card pull, tell you guys what it means, and then you can take that into the rest of your week and use it as you would see fit. So I'm going to place this very lovely stack of cards face down on the table. I'm going to spread them apart. And I'm going to muscle in there and I'm going to pick one. Oh, interesting. We have got the Chariot. And if you guys are not watching, change over to the video version now and you can look at this beautiful artwork while I have a quick look for the meaning.
Nice. That's like seeing from Empire Strikes Back.
It is the scene from Empire Strikes Back. So this card signifies determination, willpower, victory through focus. So this, guys, take some determination, take some focus, and do that thing that you've been putting off for absolutely ages. Go and do it. Focus and lock in. That is the message for this coming week. Thank you, everybody.
Nice.
Interesting. Right, let's head into this week's Force Encounters.
For my ally is the Force.
My Force Encounters this week. I'm still playing catch up. I'm like a week behind with these, but something I didn't talk about last week. I'm very lucky to have a copy of the Phantom Menace version of Monopoly. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about like the gimmick versions of Monopoly. I don't know if you're more of like a purist, kind of straight down the line, original Monopoly, but I really enjoy the kind of branded ones. We played, the three of us, Nick, Sydney, and I played that Monopoly game for a good 2.5 hours. We were in it. It
Strong.
was absolutely brilliant, and I am very, very proud to announce that I am now the Harwood Bakewell Campbell's house's first Monopoly champion. Give me all of them properties and pay me that rent. Thank you very much.
That's gracious.
I highly recommend, if people don't have a copy of any kind of Star Wars Monopoly, it just adds like a whole new level of fun and enjoyment. I really didn't expect that I'd get to hold like pod races over people and be like, well, I've got all four, pay me rent.
Our very own Hut / Dathomir Night Sister going on. 2026 is off to a bang.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a good one. I see them all the time, like the different, like you have like Boba Fett and all these different ones. So I might have to pick one of those up. I think I have one somewhere. I think I have the solo version actually, which wouldn't be surprising, I guess. But I got 2 Force encounters. One of them just this weekend, I took my nephew Wade, and we explore the Force. We're gifted a power saber lightsaber, and it's you'll have to look at what we've got coming for it. But he and I got to go out, and we have this fun idea, and what an absolute joy. The first time he turned that thing on, the look on his face of just pure joy and excitement. Now, you won't get to see it in any of the videos because we're not going to show his face, for obvious reasons. But man, it warmed my heart. It was just awesome. Like he turned it on, and his eyes and his face were like, oh my goodness, like this is amazing, and we had an absolute riot. We were running around Derby for about 2 hours, filming in different locations, trying to get some shots. Hopefully when I start to edit it, it'll all make sense. We'll see. But that was my first one. And my second one was really interesting. And I think about this for Star Wars fans. And of course, I know Stranger Things has just wrapped up. I know, Jack, you watch it. Charlie, do you watch it too? I don't know if you guys watch it, but I watched the very first season when it came out. Like the day it came out, my sister and I sat down, we watched the whole season, like that day.
Yeah.
Right. And I've never watched it since. I've never seen anything else. And so we decided, like, whatever, we'll just watch it. We'll see what all the hype is. Got a little FOMO or whatever. And I've been talking to my students about it, because they were telling me what their favorite shows are. And I was like, oh, no spoilers, blah, blah, blah. And one of the girls goes to me, she goes, I'm so jealous of you. I'm like, well, for what? She goes, you're watching it for the very first time. And I was like, that's really profound for a high school kid to think about it that way. And I think about like our experience as Star Wars fans and, some of the negativity and things like that. And a lot of it is because you can only watch it once. You can only, you know what I mean? Like, and I just thought that was such a cool, like, just, it wasn't Star Wars, but you could tell it really meant a lot to this kid. And she was just so envious that I was watching it for the first time. And I just think about all of our, the newbie Star Wars fans and how excited they get to be. And it also got me to thinking about like Mando and Grogu and how, very soon we're going to be seeing a new Star Wars movie for the first time. And it's been a long time for that. So it was really exciting. It was really kind of a fun just conversation. And I don't think she understood how much like that meant to me. Like just kind of like her take on it for a high school kid. That was pretty impressive. Just, having that knowledge. So very cool. What about you, Jack? You got any fun Force encounters?
Similar to Charlie, we've been playing a lot of Star Wars Uno since Christmas. Obviously, we took it away and we've just been playing that quite a lot. I've been looking at the upcoming Star Wars Lego smart brick stuff as well, and that's got my my interest. Let's say, but we'll chat about that later on. But yeah, apart from the Uno and Lego, not a great deal. Went to watch my soccer Star Wars Tunes come on. Obviously, instantly the family all looking at me, and I'm sort of doing my best John Williams impression that I can. But yeah, no, it's been quite quiet for me with the Star Wars Force encounters for us this week. But what hasn't been quiet is the amount of news that has been coming out. So let's head over 2x2 and see what news is coming out this week.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000.
For those who are among the 900 with news media or promotional tickets, the sneak preview probably will be the only chance to see the Empire.
All right, folks. Lego is expensive and it's probably about to get more expensive. And I'll tell you why. Lego's new smart brick interactive technology for Star Wars sets with light and sound. Lego recently unveiled one of its major technological shifts at CES 2026, marking a new bold step in the future with Lego Smart Play. The new platform introduces bricks that can talk and react to movement while interacting with specific characters, all without the need for a smartphone or tablet or screen. I was looking through this because you had sent something to us, Jack, and I hadn't really got a chance to look at it. And yeah, this is kind of cool. It's going to make the sounds. It's going to talk. It's like, I know the first one is Luke's Red 5, Vader's TIE Fighter, and then I think the Throne Room are the first 3 sets that are coming out.
Yeah,
they do look more geared, like these sets are more geared towards kids builds than they are like a UCS set or anything like that. I don't really think there's a place for that in UCS, but for kids, that's going to be a lot of fun. I think that just adds a whole nother dynamic, and you don't need a cell phone. And so I'm excited for that. We'll see if I collect any of those, but it makes sense. Lego's got to figure out a way to keep pushing the envelope, and I think this is a pretty smart way to do it. What do you guys think? I know Charlie has some strong emotions about Lego.
Listen, I used to have strong emotions, and then they came out with that BB-8 set that recently dropped, and that no build it. Don't just sit it in the box, just build it. Why are you not building it? This is my issue. You buy it, build it.
It looks so pretty in the boxes.
No, I think this is a really, really cool idea. It maybe feels a little bit gimmicky. And also, I think a part of me is like, yeah, but kids have been making like pew pew and noises with our mouths for years now. Why do we need a brick to do that?
That's a valid point. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, Jack, you have kids. Are we killing kids' imagination? Like, is that what we're doing?
That's probably as well the pitch that would have been held at Lego. You know, I guarantee someone would have said the exact same thing that Charlie's just mentioned there. And then again, someone probably just replied exactly what you just said there, Jimmy. It's for Lego to keep relevant for sure. It's a great idea, I think. Is it sort of killing kids' imagination? Yes, I think it is as well to an extent. But I think it's just adding a different dynamic as well to kids or anyone's really imagination. It's a smart way. It's a smart way to keep up with the times, pun intended. But I think some things they've missed a trick on. I've seen some of the stuff with like the cantina scene, and it's not actually cantina music, but that's probably just me being a bit picky. But some of the stuff does look great. You know, the lightsaber duel stuff with Vader and Luke as well, how it moves and interacts. It is a really clever invention. I'm interested to see the prices, how expensive this is going to be, because this can't be cheap either. It cannot be cheap. It's a smart brick at the end of the day. And that's probably why they've started with aiming this at a younger audience, with maybe the intention to move it to an older audience. I mean, between people collecting the UCS stuff and obviously kids collecting it, there's not really a middle ground, I don't think, for Lego.
And another thing too is this, because here's the problem with it. Like, this is battery powered, I believe, right? The smart bricks are going to be. So you're looking at having to have that brick placed somewhere you can get to it all the time.
Yeah, you've got like a charger. Yeah, you have a charger, USB charger as well for it.
Like a USB thing, then that won't be so bad. But you look at the smart brick and it's this big chunky thing. So, I don't know.
So you're not inserting batteries per se. It's kind of like, how can I explain it? Like a wireless phone charger sort of thing, like a pad. And then obviously you've got to have the Wi-Fi. You got to have like a wireless connection to the smart brick. Again, it's a genius invention, and I think it's for Lego, outside of Star Wars stuff, for Lego, I think it's a really, really smart move. Again, no pun intended, for him to stay relevant with the times. Cool. But enough about Lego. What other news have we got, Charlie?
So Dave Filoni is reportedly set to become Lucasfilm co-president, according to multiple sources. Okay. This is maybe the 20th time we've heard this in like the last 2 years, but it gets a little bit more interesting. Obviously, we know Dave Filoni is our Ahsoka creator, and he's the chief creative officer, alongside a lady called Lynwen Brennan. Now, I didn't know who this lady was until Jimmy very kindly sent me the page that's on the Lucasfilm website. And I am genuinely just going to sit and read through some of this lady's accomplishments because I feel like she's been a humongous part of Lucasfilm, and I've just been sat here not knowing who she is. So she is currently the president and general manager of Lucasfilm Business, overseeing all divisions, including Lucasfilm, ILM, and Skywalker Sound. She's responsible for development and execution of Lucasfilm's business strategy and company vision. So everything that we associate with Lucasfilm, especially over the last 10 years, that's thanks to her. She's an oversight for franchise group. She does marketing, games, publishing, consumer products, publicity, asset management, content strategy, and Lucasfilm studio operations. She started at the bottom of the ILM kind of tower and worked her way up to be the president of Industrial Light and Magic in 2009. She's responsible for ILM's one of their most successful business periods in the history of the company. She's opened offices in Vancouver, Singapore, and London. She was awarded a CBE for contributions to the UK visual effects industry. She's a Brit as well, which we love to see. She's received the British Academy of Film and Television Awards Kimru Special for outstanding contribution to film and television. She's been awarded the Visual Effects Society Lifetime Achievement Award in 2022, and she's a member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences and a member of BAFTA. She has a Bachelor of Science from the University of London. She is an honorary fellow at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, and she has a Doctorate of Science from the University of London and over 10 years of visual effects experience. This woman is a powerhouse. Are you kidding me? I had no idea. Like, I knew Kathleen Kennedy was up there. This
unsung hero.
Since 1990, she's got almost 30 years at Lucasfilm. Since like 1999, I think. That's awesome.
I think we're in safe hands if this is the case. I'd like to know what's going to happen first, though. Are we going to get more race movie stuff, or continue with the news? It's being written. I feel good. Or is Kathleen Kennedy going to stand down? So I'm interested to see what happens first.
I'm excited for this reason. I think Charlie and I talked about it a little bit when we were talking about Lin Wen. First off, that's a fun name. Now that I know how to pronounce it, but because my concern about this whole thing has been Dave Filoni, right? I don't want him being in charge of Lucasfilm, and I know that sounds crazy because I love everything he does, but I want him to continue to do that stuff. And my analogy is this: when a teacher leaves the classroom to become a principal, it doesn't even take a year before they forget about what it's like to be a teacher, because they have a whole new set of problems. They're dealing with finances, they're dealing with parents at a bigger level, they're dealing with, laws and things that the teachers never have to worry about. I don't want Dave Filoni getting bogged down in day-to-day minutia and product and budgets, and then you start, because that stuff will tax you mentally. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm super excited that this Lin Wen, was it Brennan, is going to be like his partner in crime for this, because I think just looking at her resume, she'd be okay. She can let Dave do like the story group type of stuff on the side of things. Yeah. And Lin Wen could be like, nah, Dave, we ain't got that money. Or yeah, Dave, we got that money. You can have it. So I'm super excited about her. That makes me more comfortable about Dave taking on a bigger position, because I was honestly super concerned about him. He's, I'll still be creative. Dude, you will get so bogged down in the minutia of the business, because you just imagine what the day-to-day is like for someone like that, just business-wise. So super excited for Lin Wen. That almost 30 years at Lucasfilm. Everything she's gotten, she's earned. I'm super pumped for it. And I know that she won't be qualified for enough for some fans out there, but they can just suck it, I guess.
Our next piece of news again speaks more about movie superstars. Tom Cruise has filmed a lightsaber duel. Director Sean Levi revealed that actor Tom Cruise paid a surprise visit to the Star Wars Starfighter set and ended up filming part of a lightsaber duel. Though not part of the cast, Cruise reportedly got behind the camera at the suggestion to capture the sequence. We're going to jump massively more into this in the main show. But initial reactions from when we first heard this, Go on, Charlie. What was your initial reaction?
I will dig into this because this is actually like super big and exciting. I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. I love Tom Cruise. Don't like that he's a Scientologist. Really, really like his movies and his acting. Big fan. This was insane to me, but I loved watching the Star Wars news cycle pick up on the Tom Cruise thing because Tom Cruise, and kind of almost missed the fact that Sean Levy just casually went, "Yeah, it's lightsaber fight, Starfighter. No biggie." I lost my mind. I felt you two, I think, were either like asleep or busy. I didn't have anybody else I could scream to about it. I was just sat by myself, like nobody understands how important this is. Nobody's paying attention to the right bit. No one's paying attention to the right
Exactly.
bit. That's how I felt.
Yeah. More on that when we go in the main show. Go on, Jimmy. What's your initial reaction?
Pumped, man. I think the thing is too is like I'll be honest with you. I was at school and I got your guys' message, not on my cell phone, of course, because I'm a professional, but I saw it come through on my watch and I was like, huh, Tom Cruise and lightsabers. And then I think a little bit later, you guys are like, no one's talking about the lightsabers. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. But no, I'm excited for this because, again, like Charlie, I love most of his movies. Mission Impossible's like Molly and I is one of our go-to, rewatches. All of those movies, Edge of Tomorrow, all those things, Oblivion, like he knows action and he knows. So I'm excited for this. And I wonder, well, we'll get into it. Yeah, I'm excited, man. This is pretty awesome.
Nice. What other news we got?
All right. We have got Marvel Star Wars Legacy of Vader number 12, the final issue of this acclaimed run by Charles Soule. In this issue, Kylo Ren faces intense trials deep within Vader's castle, with artwork by Luke Ross and Nolan Woodward, complementing a dramatic conclusion to this Vader-centric story arc. I'll be honest with you, I read the first one, and it was one of those ones that I was like, I'm going to wait till they're all finished, and I'll just rip through them. But I'm excited now that it's finished, I will go back, and I'll spend, a Saturday or Sunday just kind of flipping through my iPad, looking at it online, and then sometimes I'll bust out the hard copies just to see. But I think this had some stuff in it, and of course, I think that it's probably getting a little bit more attention now because of the the Hunt for Ben Solo stuff. So I won't be surprised if more people don't jump in on this. I think calling it Legacy of Vader though kind of throws people off the scent that it's about Kylo Ren. So I get the Legacy of Vader because Vader, but so
yeah. Now I get what you mean. This is what I put in this week's news as well because it is a big deal. You sort of alluded to it. I'm not going to spoil anything from what I've seen and heard. Is there are things in there that I think are going to get pretty they're going to get noticed as they come out. I think the next couple of weeks as soon as it's been released. But yeah, like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone on that. It's definitely something, and it's worth getting into. Charlie, any thoughts on it?
No specific thoughts, but I feel like I'm going to have to dial in for these comics. I feel like I'm going to have to sit down and have an afternoon where I sit and do some reading because I really am missing. I'm missing Kylo Ren. I miss him. Speaking of the Hunt for Ben Solo, there was yet another billboard put up in Times Square. So if people think that the fans are done and that we're tired and that we've given up, we absolutely haven't. It continues. # bring him home.
Who like what groups are doing this? Is this like the 501st? Is this some kind who's doing
Jimmy,
this? Because those things are so expensive.
Fans. This is the
if Star Wars fans have something that's limited. It's funds, mate.
Wow, that's crazy. I mean, I want this movie, but wow,
love it. I absolutely love it. Awesome. Right, last bit of news. What we got?
Our last bit of news this week is a little bit of a sad one. Michael Hanbury, who played Ewok Taboo in Return of the Jedi, has sadly passed away at age 67. May the Force be with him, and our thoughts go out to his family and friends from all of us here at Explore the Force.
All right, so this week we had some huge news, and it seems like we've kind of we had our topic for this week, and then it just kind of got piled on by more news, which we've covered a little bit of it, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. But we wanted to really get stuck into this, but we are talking about the 9th Jedi is becoming canon. They've said it's 1,000 years or something like that. We'll get into it. What does this mean? This whole Visions thing came out and it was supposed to be separate, but now we've had 3 seasons. We're getting a third episode, or we don't even know what we're getting technically, I don't think, with this volume 3 of The Ninth Jedi. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, so it just starts off saying Star Wars canon officially it means like the official story, so movies, shows, books, comics, games that basically count as real accepted history of the Star Wars universe. If it's not in that, then it's called a legend. So, like, for example, at the minute, the Mando stuff that happens and happening is canon, but the stuff about Vader's secret apprentice, some of the stories that have been written back in the past, they're all counted as legends.
So, why are we bringing this up first specifically, and what are the implications if Ninth Jedi does become the canon? But I need to take us back to where all of this started, because I put my little journalist hat on and I did a little bit of digging, because everything I've seen from this, the only kind of recurring source that was popping up was Polygon. It seems that this claim of the Ninth Jedi being set 1,000 years after the Rise of Skywalker comes specifically from a Polygon article where the writer interviewed Josh Rhimes, who's the executive producer for Star Wars Visions. Rhimes himself did not say this in quotations. The full interview wasn't like transcribed, it was just kind of done back and forth through email. So segments were taken out of it and turned into quotations. But this particular line about it being 1,000 years after the Rise of Skywalker, this does not make it canon. That's not what this means. The Ninth Jedi, like every Star Wars Visions episode, is not canon. It is part of the extended Star Wars universe. However, the Ninth Jedi and its recurring stories use the history of Star Wars canon as the basis for the history of their world. So it's almost like a parallel universe rather than one that's kind of completely separate. Specifically, like, if this was canon now, why would there need to be a Rey movie if we already know that the Jedi Order is going to fail again? So ultimately, this is clickbait gone a little bit wild and crazy, but I'm enjoying it for the speculation.
Interesting. That's it. The implications of this are pretty big. Obviously, we've looked over the past couple of episodes going on. I think Jimmy as well that the third one was not going to be such an episode, but it's like a 45-minute movie. I think that's what they were alluding to.
That's what I think we got told at Celebration, but again, that whole thing was in Japanese for the most part, and the translator, the screens didn't work quite the way they should have. So I don't know, but for some reason, that's what I recall.
Yeah. So what's everyone's views then to begin with on this? Go on, Jimmy.
Well, I mean, so I rewatched this like right before we got on the record. I just wanted to refresh my mind with, what the story was. And the story fits Star Wars. I mean, I don't know how much we want to go into that, but like the concept behind it, it feels like it could be. And I thought to myself when watching it, this is probably my 4th or 5th time watching The Ninth Jedi, that first episode. I'm like, this wouldn't have been the one I picked off the top of my head, because I was always kind of curious as to why it came back in season 3 and then why they chose it specifically to have an extra, you know what I mean? To have that whole like spin-off series. So I was like, well, maybe there is some kind of truth behind the speculation. And like Charlie, like I sat down for like, I don't know, 20 minutes trying to find this story, and Polygon was the only thing I kept popping up, and I couldn't even find the story on Polygon. Like I couldn't find it there either. So I guess that tempers my expectations or I don't know if it's excitement or not, but what Charlie said was spot on. Then I was like, well, why do we, if this is canon, then in 1,000 years, we know everything that Rey's going to do is going to mean nothing. And these are the same complaints that people have about the sequels undoing the original trilogy kind of thing, not however you see that, right? There's obviously multiple ways to see Palpatine coming back. Did it ruin it? Did it not? But if we already know, in 1,000 years, like Rey will have only been a blip in that, but everything she worked for. So that kind of I was kind of excited for this, after watching the season or the episodes. I was like, this is really good. Like, it's really creative. It really felt like Star Wars to me. The more I've watched it, the more I see why they've selected this one personally. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think?
So the reason you couldn't find that Polygon article is because that article was released on the 25th of November, 2025.
Oh wow, okay.
So this is an interview that was published around the time Visions came out, and I think it just sort of got missed. And sometimes the Star Wars news cycle does this. I've noticed this. Things drop, interviews drop, discussions happen about things that maybe weren't as popular at the time as they were coming out. And all of a sudden it sort of gets dusted down and kind of repackaged into, oh, the Ninth Jedi is canon now, and nobody's actually said that. It's actually been made very, very clear that Visions exists outside of Star Wars canon. So it seems crazy to only bring one part of it in. If you're only going to bring one part in, why don't we bring all of it in? I'd be interested to see how this kind of extended 45-minute movie long episode kind of short thing comes out, because I'm going to be honest, it wasn't one of the stories in Visions that really kind of captured me or kept me interested. It's very Star Wars and it feels very true to kind of traditional Star Wars. We've got Sith acolytes, there's all of these kind of really classic parts of Star Wars in it, and if they were going to turn one into canon, that one would make sense, I guess. But also, no, guys, like, untangle your underwear. We're fine, everything's fine.
What's your thoughts on the character Cara? Go on, Charlie.
She's another female lightsaber wielder in Star Wars. Like, I don't want to sound like a woman hater. That's not what I'm trying to say in the slightest, but she's not the first. She won't be the last. I guess. I don't know. I feel horrible saying this, but are you guys picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah, no, definitely. But the point I'm trying to get at, I think, with Cara and having again watched the previous episodes and done a little bit of digging, I've seen things online and sort of got the idea now that it may be or is a different version of what we could have got of Rey. So I find them very similar in sort of respects. I think what's captured a lot of people's attention with this Ninth Jedi stuff is the storytelling. I think there's a lot of hidden meaning behind it, hence why Disney, Lucasfilm, etc. are really holding on to this in the direction it's heading. I think we'll get a lot more answers in the next episode, movie, whatever it's going to be. Jimmy, anything?
Yeah, I mean, the first episode is really, really good. The second episode's fine that we got in season 3. It doesn't really push the story forward, I didn't feel like. The first one, all this stuff happens. You got Sith, you got Jedi, you got this ragtag group of Cara, Homan, Ethan, and Juro. And one thing I did notice is Juro, was his name, Margrave Juro, the guy who's going to kind of be like the Jedi master of all of this. His symbol is a lot like Fulcrum. I never noticed that until, and that's why I started sitting there. I was like, well, okay, well, maybe there is some truth to some of this, because but like they have free reign to do whatever they want in these episodes, from what I understand. But there are articles saying that Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy have met with IG Production, or is it Production IG, specifically, and that they've been in talks with them about some things. So I don't know exactly what those things are, but that it raises some some eyebrows, not red flags or anything like that, but like it raises some eyebrows about, are they planning something with this? I don't know.
Maybe it's a clean slate with Cara's story. There's loads of room to grow, like I mentioned about the story building, and I think a lot of people were drawn to the fact that the Kyber crystal stuff as well, how it changes color dependent on your affiliation to the Force, whether you're a Sith, whether you're a Jedi. I think screams a lot. They've obviously seen a lot of potential. Well, obviously they might have seen a lot of potential in this going forward. I think we'll get more answers, hopefully, when the next episode does get dropped.
I mean, is this something we're going to get, like Charlie said, like we're going to get this parallel running, kind of like what the DC or Marvel is going to do, where they have these parallel universes, and we're going to start to expand the Ninth Jedi universe? Like, is this, this like Star Wars 9, you know what I mean? Like how they say, like, I don't know what is our Earth? It's like 365 or 6 something. I don't even know in Marvel. Yeah. So like we have, our Earth and our timeline is a certain thing. Is this going to be that?
I think so.
I think it has potential then. I don't know. I mean, I think it has potential. Again, it would not be
Like,
one of the ones I picked, but
nobody actually affiliated with Visions, with the production studio, with this episode has said with the words out of their own mouth that this is canon, that this is set. Yes, it may well be set 1,000 years after the Rise of Skywalker, but that doesn't mean that it's canon or has any impact on the current, like the current storytelling of Star Wars as it stands. And I think if they are, even if they are making like shorts, like Marvel What If has like 3 seasons now. That ended up being really, really popular. A lot of people were like, I don't want it, I'm not interested, I'm not bothered. But that's ended up spinning off into more series of its own. And I think there's something to be said for exploring those maybe unexplored parts of Star Wars. And if The Ninth Jedi seems to have taken off and Lucasfilm really like the ideas that are being used, and if it is adhering to Star Wars canon, but changing it in its own way, it exists alongside what we're in at the moment. This all sounds quite complicated. I promise it does make sense.
does
No, I'm with Charlie as well. Sorry, Jimmy. Like
No, go
this
ahead.
stuff, I can't stand, mate. With like alternate universe and stuff like that, because
That's
I
what I
lose
was
track.
gonna-
I have no idea what is going on in that Marvel universe. I've tried watching Miss Marvel, all of them. I've tried watching them all, and my head's fried. Like, just I need to stick to one galaxy. There's enough going on in my own galaxy, let alone 200 billion other galaxies. Like, crazy.
Well, that's what I wonder for Star Wars fans, because you know, a what if series, and I know a lot of YouTubers make their living off of, you know, theories. Some people used to make really good theories and then you turn into negative Nancy's because that made more clickbait, but I won't get into that. Does it work for Star Wars? Because, you know, before EU and in Legends, everything was canon and we had this one storyline kind of moving forward. Comic books, however, have reset. They have different, I mean, they have had since their inception, they have done things like this where they have parallel universes, they have the multiverse, they have a hard reset, they have, you know, Spider-Man 2099 and, you know, all these things are the Ultimate series. They have so many different things that intense, you know, comic book readers, this makes sense to them. Like they're into it, they understand it. I don't think Star Wars fans, if you're just a Star Wars fan, like you don't have experience with that, you know, that could be a little bit confusing for people. I think, I don't know. It does kind of get like, you know, just put it in the right universe if you want. Like I think like the Ahsoka thing where they're out in another galaxy, that makes sense for Star Wars. You know, this is a different galaxy, so different things are happening, but it's also happening congruently with, you know, that timeline still moving forward in the same universe, I guess. So I don't know.
Yeah, and again, I feel for the people that aren't interested in comics, books, etc. Because then what are they gonna not miss out on? Intent, like, how can I put this? What are they missing out on? They're gonna miss out on, you know, the filler stuff that could matter. What I'm trying to get at is the stuff with like Ahsoka. You know, where he said you don't have to watch Rebels to understand what happens in Ahsoka. True, but if you watch the Rebels, it really help. It fill a lot of holes that you fill a lot of questions, advances, etc. that you'll probably have. But I think ultimately Disney don't really care, do they? You know, it's whatever makes the most money.
Do you think that pattern of like going back and filling back in is kind of a trap that Star Wars has been falling into since the beginning, since George Lucas realized that he could go back and just add stuff into A New Hope because it was his movie and he could do what he wanted with it, and it wasn't finished yet and it wasn't perfect yet. And I think Star Wars has continued to try and adhere itself to this idea of perfect, even though that was never something George never hit the nail on the head straight away. That's why he like outsourced directing for Empire so that he didn't have to do it. Like it, people forget that that's such an intrinsic part of Star Wars. Like it is a mess. There isn't when you look at it, if you squint at the canon timeline, if you even breathe near the canon timeline, it falls to pieces. Lest people forget, we all fell to pieces because Ki-Adi-Mundi said a thing because he lied.
Yeah,
Like
that's a very valid point.
Well, I agree completely. I mean, I think that people have, you know, all this, and I think again, you know, I don't want to poo-poo on Mando and Grogu, but this whole Mandoverse thing, I don't feel as excited for it because I know where it's headed, and I like where it's headed. I like the sequel,
Yeah.
for the most part, but we know that it's pushing up against that. And I think you're right, Charlie, like filling in the blanks, like some of that's good. And I think, like if this was canon, it's 1,000 years from now, lots and lots of things can happen. But
it feels like bookending. And I don't want that out of Star Wars. I don't want to be told that it's already over before it's even started.
Well, then how about, okay, I got that question for you. Cause I feel the same way. Like, I feel like, I'm excited for Starfighter. I think it's going to be a better movie, first off, but I also think that like it's next, like it's the next, it's driving the story forward, and we don't know what's next, except if this is canon, we know 1,000 years from now that's that. But my question to you guys is then, we get this, was it James Mangold? Is it Dave or Dave Mangold? Mangold film, the Dawn of the Jedi, right? The beginning of the Jedi. Like, is that going to take away, because like we're going to see how the first Jedi are created, yet we know about the High Republic, we'll know about the Old Republic, we'll know about, Old Republic technically isn't canon, but the High Republic, we'll know about, the Star Wars, the Skywalker saga. Like, is that going to take away from it, you think? Or is that just exciting because it's going to be like, was it 25,000 years? So there's plenty of time.
I'd be very surprised if that even happened. We haven't even got a Rey movie, let alone going back 1,000 or 2,000 odd years, wherever it was. So I think it's too difficult of a task to tackle. And if it does get tackled, it definitely needs to be tackled properly, because it could mess up. I think I keep saying this now. I think Star Wars is literally not on the brink, but it's on a tipping point, I think, of either gaining a lot of fans or losing a lot of fans.
Like, using this as like a compare and contrast moment, Tolkien didn't start writing the Lord of the Rings until he was like in his 40s, mid 40s, and by that point he'd built an entire language, and then just for the fun of it built an entire world off of the back of that, but not just a pocket of a world that a story happens in, which is very much Star Wars. Like when George sat down to write Star Wars, it was, this is happening on a planet with a boy. That is the kind of main story. Everything else branched out from there. Tolkien stories were long and convoluted. He had that timeline to go back to. That's why we ended up with Lord of the Rings stories, and then the Silmarillion on top of that, and then all of the other ones that go alongside it and go into the history of Middle Earth, because it was already set and predetermined. That's why we've been able to have Tolkien books long after his death, because he wrote all of this down. George Lucas didn't work quite like that. He's passed Star Wars on now, and you're kind of asking future Star Wars directors and writers to kind of do the job that was sort of meant to be George's. Like, George, I think, only meant for Star Wars to be like 6 films and then done. And instead, it's been stretched into this beautiful, complex, rich tapestry of creativity. Like, I can't argue. There's so much beauty and wonder in there, but we're still only filling out such a tiny section of the Star Wars timeline. And I think going all the way forward into the future or all the way back to the beginning is too far, because the lore is just not there. You have to make up too much to fill in that gap. It doesn't have that kind of it does have that complexity, but not in the way that you would need for that to be successful. I think maybe I'm getting a bit too deep into it. I don't know.
No, I think I'm looking up. I looked up James Mangold's IMDb page, and he has two producer credits and some other things. None of them. There's a thing called Juliet. He's a producer on, and Crenshaw. He's a producer on. It says production unknown, development unknown, but there is nothing, unless one of these are a code word for Star Wars. There's nothing after a complete unknown. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Seems
it's not an easy task, as we know there's a lot of pressure, especially from the fans in the Star Wars universe, and this we've seen as well. The media know that it gets the views, the reads, whatever. So it's a difficult one to tie down. And I think going back to the whole reason this whole topic started is just the line of saying that something is canon in Star Wars is such a big deal that I think people have just got to be careful what they're writing and how they're even reading it. We could have completely misread this wrong. I'm sure we've done misread news wrong. I know I have before in the past. So yeah, it's just something for, I think, people to be aware of.
I mean, up until this point, I thought this was fact until we started recording this and I started diving into it not knowing Charlie was doing it too. But I thought, oh, this has been reported. So like now I'm like, oh, okay. So, will something else leak as we get closer to part 3 coming out? I don't know.
Who knows? And who knows if we get any hints or anything like that in any upcoming movies. And speaking of upcoming movies, do we want to dive into the Starfighter stuff now?
Yes,
Please.
Let's do it, because it's been killing me. It's been killing me. Like Charlie was saying, and Jimmy, everyone's mentioning Tom Cruise has directed this scene. It's amazing. Why is no one talking about the lightsabers? I want to know how many lightsabers. Who's got it? Go on, Charlie.
Exactly. But this is the thing. If people are not aware of the full context of this, I need to set the scene. So Sean Levy is minding his own business, filming Starfighter, having a grand old time, doing everything he wants to be doing. All of a sudden, Tom Cruise decides to land his helicopter on set. So the crew decides to pump the Mission Impossible theme through the speakers that are set up around the set, and Tom Cruise arrives in this like blast of glory and wind machines, and him and Sean Levy are talking, they're chilling, they're chatting, they're sharing a bottle of water, yap, and Sean Levy jokingly says, hey, Mr. Tom Cruise, why don't you take over the shot, because they're watching while this lightsaber fight is going on and they're filming it and they're doing all of this. Tom Cruise gets his waders on, gets his wellies on, up to his ankles in freezing cold water with a camera and filming this lightsaber fight. Wow. Ooh, everybody, so amazing. What do you mean a lightsaber? What do you mean a lightsaber fight? Sorry?
That's an extreme close-up, Chuck.
Nobody understands how excited I am about this, Jimmy. What do you mean we're getting lightsabers in Starfighter? What do you mean?
Well,
who? Where?
Can I say something? I don't want either of you to get mad at me, but didn't we assume that there were going to be lightsabers in this? Oh,
no.
Okay. That makes one out of the three of us, given the fact that Amy Adams' character is supposed to be a Jedi of some sort from the rumors that we've heard. I assumed there was going to be something. Then we have two bad guys. We got Mia and we got Matt Smith, Mia Goth and Matt Smith. That says Sith and Apprentice to me. But again, I do think that people are like missing the big thing here, because if people didn't think that there were going to be lightsabers in this, then why isn't that the topic? So, I mean, Tom Cruise does steal the headlines in a lot of things he does, and in everything he does, he steals the headlines. Yeah. So, but this is super exciting.
It's huge.
I mean,
my bet would be Matt Smith wielding a lightsaber for sure, with all the work he's done in the past with swords, etc. He's my definite 100%. So
this is like, I mean, I wish we knew when this would have happened. They've been to some interesting things with releasing information for this film. They should probably do themselves a little bit of a favor and disappear for a few months, though, and let Mando and Grogu. Because, I mean, I'm more excited for this than I am for Mando and Grogu, and they're not helping me by, Tom Cruise, lightsabers. I'm like, 2027, hurry up. So, but a muddy scene, a fight scene in the mud or in some creek or water or something, like that's going to be cool. Like that's going to be, is this a flashback, Amy Adams flashback? Is this the handoff from Ray, from Ryan Gosling to Daisy Ridley as Ray, and she's fighting off Mia Goth and Matt Smith? I mean, there is so much potential for those words, lightsaber battle, that it's got me pretty excited. And just, man, like let's freaking go, man. Like this is going to be awesome.
Or it could be absolutely nothing, and it's just literally them, when they like read like a wall or an inscription or a book, and it's like, the Jedi were whatever so many years ago or something. Maybe it's a complete segue into something completely different. And again, like I say all the time, we are our own worst enemy at assumptions and theories.
What do you guys think about how they dropped this, though? Like, how do you feel about this information coming out, and we're a couple months away from Mando and Grogu? Like, do you think this is bad for Mando and Grogu?
I'll say it's bad, but it doesn't help.
I don't
I might
know.
say it keeps Star
I'm
Wars
not.
relevant.
I'm not. I wouldn't say that Star Wars is struggling to be relevant necessarily. I think I'm not seeing as much hype and excitement for Mando and Grogu as I almost want to be seeing. Like I'd have expected like a proper, like another trailer, like a full second trailer
Probably
with
Super Bowl
the
coming.
bits missing from Celebration, so that connects what you guys have seen to what we're seeing. I want to see more. Like we had that exclusive photo from USA Today. That was one photo of him, obviously in an AT-AT and obviously in a New Republic jumpsuit. Enough of a subtle difference to put the pieces together, but I want more than that. We're what, 4 or 5 months away now, and I'm more excited for Starfighter. Is that bad, Brendan? I'm really sorry if you're listening to this. I actually really love you. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it's weird though, because now I think timeline in my head for this is Super Bowl's coming up. We're about 3 or 4 weeks away from the Steelers
Yeah.
playing somebody in the Super Bowl. And we're probably getting the next trailer then, right? And it could be the final trailer, who knows, whatever. So we get that, and then we also know from doing our recap or looking ahead to 2026 that April, all that stuff, Mando and Grogu stuff, starts to drop. April and in May, there was just a ton of things. Like it was like every other day something was going to come out, and it was silly stuff. It was stuff for kids. It was cookbooks. It was coloring books. It was things I didn't even know what they were. But so I think, but is 2 months enough? Like, shouldn't they be like, they gave us a teaser trailer for The Force Awakens a year out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, what do you guys? I mean, are they? Because I mean, my favorite movie suffered because Lucasfilm didn't do their job properly and promote Solo, right? Because
Yeah.
they were, Kathleen Kennedy was being punished because of the last Jedi or whatever. There's different rumors for everything, but I mean, are they shooting themselves in the foot with this? Like, what's happening with the? I know we're getting kind of off the topic because we're talking about Starfighter and Mando, but I'm excited for Starfighter, but I'm worried about Mando and Grogu.
No, I think it's a relevant point, mate, to be fair. Like you mentioned, they've got to start gearing stuff up now before the actual release to get the hype going. I've not really seen any merchandise. Like I mentioned on last week's show, Lego normally gives stuff away as well. Not really seen anything from that.
Do.
So, like, again, I hate to use Marvel as a comparison. I know, like, you guys aren't necessarily the biggest fans, but like Robert Downey Jr. was teased / announced as Doctor Doom in July of 2024. And since then, Marvel have been drip feeding us to the point where we are losing our minds over like a 20-second teaser trailer for Thor will return in Doomsday. Well, yeah, obviously, but we're still frothing at the mouth about it because it's been this very kind of orchestrated feed of information. And I worry that it still feels like after all this time, I mean, no disrespect to the incredible people that work at Lucasfilm and ILM, it still doesn't feel like Star Wars has quite got its feet under itself yet. Still doesn't feel like we're quite hitting the ground running. I don't know. Maybe that's me being a bit jaded, being kind of so in it for so long. But I think
It's a valid point, though.
The Mando film, they have a lot of weight to pull for the first 2 Star Wars movies we've had in like 6 years, over half a decade.
It's a valid point about the Marvel stuff, because are they just going to? Is all the focus at the minute on Marvel Avengers Doomsday? Is that the next big thing to come out from Disney? I'd argue probably yes.
They need to have, the only person who has made more money than Kathleen Kennedy is also working for Disney, and Kevin Feige. He's the only producer that's made more money than she has. Like, I was looking that stuff up. She's like, she personally is worth like $300 million. And they talked about the billions of dollars that she's made for in films, starting back with like E.T. and stuff like that. Has Disney created, this could be a whole nother topic too. Has Disney created a problem for themselves where they have Avatar coming out, they have Star Wars coming out, they have what are we talking about? Marvel coming out, like, and everything else that they own. Like, are they shooting themselves in the foot? Is there a way that they can work this out to where it makes sense? Because in the back in the day, movies would go head to head. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like it wasn't like, well, I'm gonna, yeah, you shy away from a big film because you don't want to get trampled if something new's coming out, but Fox has to go up against Warner Brother. I mean, most of these companies are all getting bought up by everybody else, and there's gonna be like two groups. But I was like, we kind of complained about Avatar, Fire and Ash coming out and not getting The Force Awakens because they were afraid that it was not going to make any money or it was going to like take away from Fire. I would have gone and seen both. Yeah. So I mean, is Disney shooting themselves in the foot where we're more excited for Starfighter for whatever reason? And I think all three of us are more excited for Starfighter than we are Mando and Grogu. I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouths, but I mean, is that a Disney problem or is that an us problem?
This loops us right back round to the beginning of the episode. Disney have created a monopoly. Ah ha 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 ha. Ah, ha, ha, ha. And I do wonder if this is slightly biting them in the tushy a little bit, just a little bit, because you're right. Like Doomsday comes out on the 18th of December. Anyone I know, even Star Wars cosplayers that I know who like live and breathe Star Wars, it's Doomsday. All anyone wants to talk about is Doomsday.
Yeah.
I've never missed a Marvel film, I don't think, in the theater.
I wish I had missed some of them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've been there for every single one that's come out. Like, I think maybe one, and it wasn't on purpose. It was just timing. But, I saw it when it came out. It is hard to keep up with Marvel, though, with all the shows that were coming out there for a while and things like that. So, I don't know. I'm curious. I just, and then you get back to, and again, we're a little off topic, but like big time saber. I don't know. Like maybe, we're already excited for Starfighter. For me personally, because it was, a new era, and now you add lightsabers to it. Is this like the new, like, is this going to be set the tone moving forward? And, we've talked about this at length with how possibly like this could tie into like when this Starfighter movie comes out, does this jumpstart Daisy Ridley's, Rey stuff? She shows up in the final act, bam, bam, bosh, boom, a amazing, lightsaber battle directed by the one and only Tom Cruise. Everyone loves it. We move on. Everyone's happy again, and so I just wonder.
We all win.
Yeah. So I just wonder about all of this. It seems so convoluted now that we're talking about it. It just seems so convoluted on how we're, just all this information. Yeah.
Because we get shown so many things at Celebration, and then things have not worked out how they should have. I think that's thrown a lot of it into.
And we're not even talking Maul Shadow Lord. Like, I think that's going to be the biggest thing for Star Wars this year if it comes out. Even more so than Ahsoka season 2. But
I feel like the majority of our fan response has been Maul Shadow Lord. That's what people actually want, because you're all big Maul fanboys.
Well, the animation
him on your bedroom walls, and you love him.
Animation tells good stories, though. They have, historically speaking, since the Clone Wars animated series, maybe not so much the movie, but the animated series. I mean, most of what they put out for adults, the stuff that's not generated, like Young Jedi Adventures and Resistance, the storytelling is phenomenal. Clone Wars, The Bad Batch, like Rebels. I mean, you've gotten some of the best storytelling and best character development. I feel like, that's why we're all so excited for, Sam Wentworth, of course, selling it, and he's super excited for it. So, I mean, that makes me excited. I just don't know.
Also, sorry, Jack, I'm so sorry if you wanted to speak. When it comes to who's going to be in this lightsaber battle, of course, it's going to be wonderful. Directed by Tom Cruise. I can see it now. Lens flares, smoke, Dutch angles. Let's go. Get weird with it. I don't think they're going to make it Rey. Like, first and foremost, Daisy Ridley has been locked into project after project after project. If she's not filming, she's directing, she's producing, she's editing, she's doing a bunch of other stuff as well.
She is.
She says she is. See, this is the thing. I know. And also, I know directors will say whatever they can to get hype, to build interest, to get media response. I understand a lot of like Sean Levy standing there and saying that, well, we're not going to use legacy characters and we're not going to use characters from the sequels. It's probably just a red herring. Like, I understand how the game works. I've been observing it for long enough now. But there's still a part of me that wants to sit here and be like, no, this is a big Star Wars story, but still remains unconnected in the way that Skeleton Crew was, you know? I think that's something I'm clinging to that's going to make it fresh and different, and partly why I'm so excited for it, because I love Rey. I love her the most out of anyone ever on the planet ever. I don't want to see her in this movie. I don't want to see her drop off a little kid's Jedi or be given a kid's Jedi. Don't give me that storyline anymore, please. Like, enough.
What if they bring this kid to somebody, another Jedi, and the last thing they say is, we need to get you to Master Skywalker? Will you scream?
That I could maybe get my head around. Give me that rather than here is half of the movie with Rey, with Daisy Ridley as Rey 5 years after the rise of Skywalker. Like, please give the girl a break.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. No, I don't know. It's crazy to
Also,
me. Like,
I don't want the Rey hate to be restarted. I think that's partly where it comes from as well. I don't want people to jump on it and be like, Rey made this movie poo-poo and I hate it and it's awful and Star Wars is rubbish, and I don't want that to start again. Give her the space and then give her own movie and let that be it.
yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I also think that this could help. I don't think she needs to be. I know from us, she doesn't need to be rescued or anything like that. But if you put down a movie that's, I mean, let's say this is a Rogue One type movie, like people universally love this film, and then she would show up, or there would be some reference to her at the end of it. Because I'm not talking about her being in half of it. I'm like the last third of it, maybe, or her being the MacGuffin at the end or something. But I mean, could that be what her series needs? Because it doesn't put all the pressure on her. It puts it on Ryan Gosling and Flynn Gray and Matt Smith and Mia Goth and Amy Adams, really. So it's, they're the focus, and she just kind of slides in there, or a reference to her. Is this the way to, you tied her with Princess Leia now in a book coming out too. So this could be a way to, like, and again, I don't think she needs rescued. I don't think she needs, and it's not us that we're that I know you're talking about, Charlie, when you talk about the Rey hate, but this could be a way to sneakily kind of recharge that character. But yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. You know what? Maybe.
Awesome. Lots of super interesting thoughts. And I'm really excited, actually. I'm hoping the listeners out there as well give us your feedback, any ideas and suggestions or theories that you guys and girls may have. Anything else to wrap it up?
Oh, yeah. Mando and Grogu's coming out this year, I think.
Yeah, I guess. Right. Baby Grogu, yeah.
I hope that movie is awesome. Like, I really do. And I don't want our listeners and our viewers to sit there and be like, Jimmy's not excited. I'm excited for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just seeing the trailer during Fire and Ash was phenomenal to see on the big screen, seeing it in 3D. That got me really, really excited. Getting to see a few more of the guys in the arena. So don't take my, I'm excited for it. I'm just maybe not as excited, but I'll be there opening day Thursday when it comes out. I will be in the front seat. I'll probably go see it again Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday. Who knows? So please don't take. I also want our listeners and viewers to think that, like, I'm poo-pooing on this. I just,
Yeah.
There's enough Star Wars out there for everyone to like and hate anyway, so.
Exactly. I second what Jimmy is saying. I really, really don't want people to think that I'm sat here like bashing on Rey appearing in a movie or bashing on Mando and Grogu. I'm so excited. I am really excited for Filoni and Favreau to kind of reach like their climax of playing in the sandbox. They have played with their toys, and now it's the big battle, and it's all ready to be kind of wrapped up and tied up. And I'm so excited to see the culmination of that kind of love and passion and commitment to these characters. That's going to be amazing. But yes, if I talk anymore, my tongue's going to fall off, guys. I'm sorry. I need to shut up.
Awesome. Right. If you have any questions or just want your voice heard, then DM us on our socials or send us an email or voice note at exploretheforce@gmail.com. And remember to like this episode, share it with your Star Wars friends and family, and to follow us on all our social media platforms. All you have to do is search Explore the Force, all one word. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Also, if you want to show your support and spread the word around by image as well as voice, then head over to our Redbubble and search Explore the Force, where you can purchase unique merchandise. There will be some new designs coming very, very soon, and a massive thank you to every single person interacting with us via social media. You keep this podcast amazing.
Yes, finally, you've been listening or watching Explore the Force. We have spoken. See you all next week.